Good evening. Hey, music is rolling. Listen, my name's Jason Grant. I'm a part-time Art Bell lighting double. Even do a little stand-up comedy. Tonight, we're here for the off night. Everyone's favorite show where old comedians get around and talk about things and you youngsters can listen in too. And you know what? We have something that'll probably annoy everybody. And hopefully in a moment or two, we're going to have Mark Sweetman, everyone's favorite host, the man who the program is all about. Ask him because Mark will always tell you it's always all about him. So, lady, with no further ado, please, Mark Sweetman. Mark. So, hold on. Unlock the cage. There he is.
Hold on. There we go. Thank you.
Fluttering out here. I'm dying.
I hit the wrong button. It took me out of the studio rather than put me on camera.
Well, at least you didn't call the judge a fascist.
And this is show number. I got it on here somewhere. Let me put it back. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta get my banners up here. Here we go. I forgot to change the number. We're actually 256. Hold on. Let me work on this very quickly.
For those of you who are archiving at home.
Yeah, exactly.
We have.
Organized as a professional would be.
There we hear the songbird-like chirpings of our poetess, just waiting in the wings to enrapture us once again with song and verse.
Yes, exactly.
And not to mention her flamethrower-like wit, which she has absolutely no problem pointing in any direction. Oh my goodness, we completely lost the screen. It's
Is the screen gone?
The screen is gone, but the voice is still there, and really that's what's important. We're here to hear what you have to say.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong here.
You're editing information live instead of doing that pre-production.
At any rate, Fernwood Tonight, American classic or overrated artifact. You decide.
Oh, hey, hold on here. Let me do it this way.
Hey, while he's doing that, what are you doing there, Susan? How's life treating you?
Oh, fine. I am here in the Mark Studios instead of my undisclosed location.
Well, that's
home for you tonight.
Wow. No doubt you were delivered by armored limousines so that you don't end up like President Putin, whose car recently kind of went up in smoke. Don't know if it was us, them, or somebody else, but I'm sure he's muttering something that is the Russian version of, hey, you missed. Want to try again? Oh no, now it's just me. Okay, well, welcome to the off night after dark. I'm going to kill one of these lights over here and maybe take off my clothes. No, we're just kidding.
Is this the one I want? Oh, am I back on?
He's on. He's back.
All right, I'm back on.
Just as I was going to dim the lights. But
oh, okay. This is very frustrating for me.
I know. We got to do this right. In all seriousness, I stumbled across a local dude who does a podcast, The Drew Lane Show. I think Drew used to be on radio in Detroit.
Yeah, he used to be on WRIF.
Is that where I heard him from? He's that Drew.
Yeah,
well, no wonder it's technically pretty good because he probably can hire people and pay money to, they were on Riff for years. My God, Mike and Drew. I didn't know it was that Drew Lane, but all right.
Yeah, it's that Drew Lane. That's who that is.
Okay. So how's life in your little corner of the universe while you guys sit there next to the metroplex that is Detroit?
It's very suburban.
There you go.
All right, you ready to do your poem?
If you'd like.
I would like. Okay, we're going to take us down, and we're going to leave Susan out there, and she's going to do her poem now.
That great light behind me.
Yeah, you look great.
I can block it with my poem. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yep.
Calling Dr. Kildare. Richard Chamberlain is no longer there. He died on March 29th. This is so sad. He was 90 years young and his looks weren't bad. In Lithuania, 3 of the missing 4 soldiers found dead. Their armored vehicle pulled from a peat bog, reporters said. Still searching for survivors in the earthquake that hit Thailand. Myanmar hospitals overwhelmed, not enough help on. They found something suspicious in Bangkok new construction. A high-rise toppled, might be suspicious steel production. Classified materials law and experts all have a lot to say. U.S. strike in Yemen should not have been conducted that way. Still talking about the military signal chat that included the reporter. It's all a witch hunt, said the orange skin distorter. And that's your poem.
The orange skin distorter. The
Distorter.
OSD. The orange skin distorter. The OSD. Well, thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
All right, let me.
I'm still here.
I know that. Hold on here. Here we go. All right.
How could you not be?
All right.
Okay, I'm still here. I'll just
All right,
sit
so,
next to Mark and pop in once in a while.
Oh, okay. Well, no, we do have Sam. Let's add Sam. Here's Sam Greenfield, everybody.
Yay, Sam.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Sam.
Let me tell you what my life is like. My nurse just said to me, "Did you do number 2 today?"
There you go.
And I said, "Twice." She goes, "At the same time?"
That would be a 4.
I said, "No." She goes, "But you did do it." I go, "Are you interrogating me?" She goes, "Yes, I am." I said, "Yes, I did it twice successfully." She goes, "That's very important." And I said to her, "Why is it so important?" And she actually said, "It's best you not know." I said, "Well, suppose I said I haven't done it at all." She goes, "That's not good." I go, when my life ends, I don't want the mystery to be, how are his shits? And she goes, no, it's really very important.
Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter your age. When you're in the hospital, that is very important.
Well, that's true.
Do you have a radio or a TV on there, Sam?
I do. I'm sorry. Hang on. Hang on. How's that?
Much better.
I was watching the TCU Texas game.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that I've learned after numerous alien abductions is that someone like me has, because they're saying we're going to do an anal probe and we're going to do all sorts of bizarre experiments, and I'm like, well, what's taking so long? I mean, come on, big talker, let's get the show on the road. And before the evening is out, the 2 little grays are stumbling back to the little mothership saying, "So that's a pearl necklace, really? Well, listen, let's not talk about this when we get back with Zorg and the rest of the continuum." And I'm waving goodbye.
Nothing could be worse than having an alien say, "We're here for you," and you go, "Oh, fine."
You come from Zeta Reticuli, but flowers? No.
Yeah, 30 million miles in 8 months. So did the astronauts. Kiss my ass.
Jason, you got to figure out. You got to figure out how to put that in your live act, because I think the line, "Let's not tell Zorg about this."
Yeah.
You know what would kill Trump? Absolutely kill him. Is if somebody said, "No one gives a shit what you do."
He would. You know what? He doesn't need that, because he creates his own reality.
I think it would bother you more than you think.
Huh.
Well, as John Foster Dulles was once said about by no less than Winston Churchill, he's a bull who brings his own china shop.
Or as Winston Churchill said about the House of Lords, "There but for the grace of God goes God."
An empty taxi cab pulls up to the House of Commons and Clement Attlee steps out.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
He's a very humble man.
So, oh, by the way, what does how do you know that like Nero was gay?
How?
Because every time he talked, he said, "He amuses me. Have him scrubbed and brought to my tent."
Bro, send him to my tent. Yes, have him. You know the guy who did the best Roman emperor routine was the late Richard Jenny. God bless his soul. When he's sitting there saying, "Don't you know when you're like at the restaurant ordering lobsters and you're like, yes, throw it into the pot, yes, have them boiled." And that family over there, they amuse me. Throw them into the pot as well. Yes, and
Well, I remember there was an English actor who condemned Jesus to crucifixion, and he was in Ben-Hur, and
yeah,
his name was Frank Thring.
string.
Thring, Thring.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he was the one who said to Jesus, I hate to be cross with you, but the pun is unmistakable.
Oh dear.
But
Yeah, and did they
he was
have
the
to
guy.
edit? Say, did they edit out the line "I can see your house from here," or did they leave that in? Was that in the outtakes?
They did edit it out, but the one they never edited out, but eventually just died of its own weight, was "Over yonder is the house of my father."
Oh yeah, Tony Curtis.
Who can ever forget Tony Curtis?
Well, my favorite line, and I've told you this before, when Tony Curtis went back to Brooklyn and he told a friend of his, listen, meet me at the corner of Utrecht and Grand. And so the guy's waiting, and it's a bone chilling rain, and the guy's waiting, and a limo turns the corner, and there's Tony in the limo, and he sticks his head out the limo, and he goes, Bobby, I just fucked Yvonne DiCarlo.
You know, we all remember her. People my age, Mark's age, we remember her as Lily Munster, right? Which was not necessarily the most physically flattering. I mean, you
Well,
could see she was a pretty woman.
she was in the Ten Commandments too.
Yeah, I mean, she had a
She was also
career.
in How the West Was Won.
Yeah,
And her husband was a stuntman who suffered a horribly disabling injury.
Who was the stuntman?
Her husband,
Oh, her husband. Okay.
Yvonne DiCarlo's. And he suffered a terrible, horrible injury, but she nursed him through it.
well, Buster Keaton again. Here we are. Okay, kids, hang on. I'm going to do Buster Keaton material. But he used to do his own stunts, and they are when you see a Buster Keaton movie and they look dangerous and breathtaking and heart-stopping, it's because they are. It's all real.
Well,
And
Yeah.
during
well,
one of his stunts, he broke his back, laid
well,
down for a day or two, took some aspirin, came back on the set the next day.
that doesn't impress me. Listen, me getting out of bed is a dangerous stunt.
They haven't dangled you
Yeah,
off
yeah,
a
yeah. The
clock
last
face
few
yet?
months it has been.
Doing the Harold Lloyd thing yet, where they're like, "Okay, Mr. Greenfield, we need you to hang on to the clock hand here while we this is very important that we do this here, sir."
You talk about someone people don't know.
Well,
Our
Harold Lloyd.
Father who art in heaven, Harold Lloyd be thy name.
Well, I
That was
haven't quite.
that's how popular kids thought that was the line.
It wouldn't
Harold
surprise
Lloyd be
me.
thy name.
At the peak of his popularity, they thought that was the line. Harold Lloyd be thy name.
Well, the thing is that, especially with some of these older stars, because their images are now in the public domain, and you see them getting used in memes and whatnot,
Right.
because you can use them, and you don't have to worry about we become so litigious. God forbid you should use someone's image for something or other, and you're going to get a copyright strike, and an army of attorneys are going to be on your porch, and
Well, what makes me happy is I see these young athletes, college
yes,
athletes,
they make
and
me happy
they're
too.
doing commercials,
Oh, they were doing different things in
and
my
they're
green.
good, and they're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
They're very
Yeah.
smooth. Well, they get coached, I mean,
Well,
but they do a
I've
great
coached a
great
few.
job.
Yep.
You
And
know,
and
I ain't afraid of no shoes.
oh dear. Well, it's just getting to be that.
By the way, is anything funnier and at the same time sad as listening to Pete Hegseth? Anything?
Does anyone listen to him?
Well, no. It's the defense. It's him saying, "Listen, these people," and just you go, "Please keep talking. I'm begging you. Just don't stop in the name of God."
Did you
Because
did you, did you see the opening skit from Saturday Night Live this
Oh,
week?
that was
yes,
so good. Such a good episode. All of it.
see, here's the thing: when Huey Long was elected governor of Louisiana, he ran. If everyone was like him, this would be a better country. Believe it or not, he ran on the premise of if I'm elected, okay, I will lower taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he gets elected and he raises taxes.
Every man a millionaire. Remember that one?
And his press conference, a reporter said, Governor Long, you said in your press conference that you would lower taxes, but in fact, you raised them. How do you defend that? He goes, oh, I lied.
But we do remember how he died alone in his bed, surrounded by Oh no, hold on. Actually, it was a different
No,
ending.
that'll be me. No, he was assassinated
Yes, he was.
by a doctor who was a friend of. By the way, is there anything funnier than he was assassinated by a doctor who was a friend of the family? Is anything more sad? And the guy who air conditioned him shot him 23 times. He was ironically Huey's bodyguard.
Really? Wow. I wonder if he went to work later on for Indira Gandhi. That worked out for her too.
Brute. That's a old story.
Well, excuse me, President Kennedy. Ouch.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. You guys are all aggressively bad. Hey, well, one more thing, since you guys are doing the Trump stirring the pot thing, and this is something I think he's doing deliberately. He's floating rumors that he's going to run for a third term.
Yes, he's going to do it this way. He's going to have J.D. Vance win. And the idea that Vance can win is funny to me, but I thought the idea that he could win would be funny. Anyway, so Vance wins, and then Vance resigns and turns it over to Trump. Now, here's my question. Suppose Vance likes the flavor.
Oh, then you know that Trump is really good at like stirring the pot with one hand, while the other hand is doing things. It's sleight of hand. It always has been.
If Trump proposes that
if Moses supposes
if Trump proposes that Vance run, Vance can then just get the cabinet together and declare the 25th Amendment.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And then, Vance can say, something? I like the view up here.
Why would Vance? Yeah, then Vance doesn't have to run as the vice president. He can run as the incumbent president.
And Trump will sit there with his,
Hi, Susan.
Hi, let's get back to the comedy and out of the conspiracy theories, please.
Oh dear. Okay.
I know she never.
Oh, it's all about you, isn't it?
She never lasts this long, so she doesn't know that once she's gone, the comedy stops, and we just go back to conspiracy theories.
But we do like your poetry, Susan. Believe it or not.
Excuse me. I'm 77. Could we not make references to? I can't believe he lasted that long.
No, here's the theory I heard was that Trump is just using this to dissuade any other Republicans from running in 2028.
Oh, these guys could get together a set of balls to do it. Please, please, just stop.
Oh, come on. You guys come from the party that let Joe Biden try for a second term.
Excuse me. Joe, no.
Yes,
Lindsey Graham play. Yes. Do you think Lindsey Graham would ever play against Trump? There are people who actually acted. No, wait. There are people who actually ran against Biden, including Kamala Harris. There's not a nutsack between those homos. Are you kidding me? Enough.
Speaking as a homo who has
hold on. I can't let Grant's line go by here.
Okay.
Speaking for the party that was going to let Joe Biden run for a second term. It wasn't when the Republicans were saying he shouldn't run for a second term, he didn't leave. It's when the Democrats said, don't run for a second term.
Even though he had 16 million Democrat votes.
You can't say that the Democrats were going to let him run.
He had 16 million Democrat votes behind him.
And by the way, Lindsey Graham would never, ever do anything. And I know this son of a bitch. I've met him. Would never do anything that precluded him not having to pay for golf fees. Well, one of the reasons he likes Trump is that he plays golf at Trump's golf courses for nothing, for free. And they asked him to.
Don't these guys get paid enough to afford greens fees?
No. You know something? They don't. You got to remember something. And I hate them, but you got to remember this. They have to live in two places on two salaries. On one salary, right?
One salary.
Well, Nancy Pelosi's managed to parlay that into a $200 million fortune.
Her husband's rich.
Well, yes, it's amazing the stock tips that might come from a sleeping Nancy at night, or
Excuse me.
Diane
Excuse me.
Feinstein.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I give
Yep,
you Mitch
yep, yep.
McConnell.
And I'm giving
Yeah,
it
don't fuck
back.
with me
And
about Nancy.
I'm
No,
giving,
he's worth 23 million. So
yeah,
let's tamp that down a little.
Harry Reid was how much when he
Harry
left?
Reid. No.
Harry Reid.
No, I
Yep,
got to
nope,
call you
nope.
on this.
Yeah, I know Silver
I
Mine.
know
Yep, yep,
Harry
yep.
Reid.
I know you did.
Harry
Yep.
Reid
I knew him
developed.
too.
No, you're wrong. Harry
I
Reid.
go Sam. Go.
No. I'm sorry. I got to call you on this. Harry Reid discovered and developed and patented silver mines
Yep.
in Searchlight, Nevada, before
Yep.
he was ever in Congress. Ever. So don't fuck with me, fellas.
Oh my God, he's on fire. He's gonna send a hit squad to the house. Hey, dude, come on. They are all corrupt as hell. I'm sorry. It just if you want my position, there it is.
Harry Reid is the reason I have a daughter. Harry Reid is the
really?
reason. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Really?
absolutely.
No, tell me.
I don't want to
I
say
gotta
how
hear
it
this.
happened, but it was late at night.
Hey, little dinner, little drinks. You
You know.
know.
A little
And he's
a
also,
little bossa
he's the
nova
one who
on the
told
stereo.
Obama. He's also the one who told Obama to run for president. You know
That
that.
wouldn't surprise me.
No, it was Harry Reid who
And
said, I
Hillary
think you should
Clinton
run for
didn't bump him
president.
off.
Well, listen, why he did it, I don't know. But he's the one who told Obama, I think you should run for president. It was him. So for 8 years, we had a human being, and then we had Trump. Andy!
Andy's here.
Hi, I'm just listening. Thumbs up, guys. Good stuff.
Good.
Yeah, he's driving.
I'm surprised it wasn't the usual I'm a gay guy, Republican, or, I got to tell you about my story,
Hey, they're already calling me a homo, Andy. So, I mean.
Yeah.
When I called you
good.
a homo piece of shit, I meant it in the nicest possible way.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I meant that too. It's all true. Yeah. Well,
Let me ask you something, Jason.
Certainly.
When you hear somebody refer to gay people as
faggots.
queer,
yes, I hate that.
I wanted to know.
Yeah. No, if you can call me, you can call me the worst things in the world to my face. You call me a queer, we're going to fight. And I run into this
Why
in
do
the
they
gay
do
community. I don't
there are
know,
people,
but
there are people that choose that word in the community, though, right, Jason?
But that's why I'm asking.
And to me, it's because they're assuming some sort of gay virtuous drag that they're not intended. They really don't mean, because they're not really gay. They're using this word. They're trying to get some sort of shine off this thing, which, by the way, I've had to live with for a long time, and it's not always been terribly pleasant.
I think it's something else.
Not pleasant.
I think it's no pun intended, but I think it's an in-your-face kind of thing. Yeah, we're calling ourselves that. How do you like it? It's like when a black person calls another black person the N-word.
It's the Q. It's the Q word.
One of the reasons why I don't go to the AA meetings that I used to go to was because, again, AA is supposed to be apolitical, but sadly it got very political around here, and I just finally had to stop going to the meetings, and I need to go to other AA meetings because I'm not there for politics. By the way, when I'm at AA, I don't care what your politics are. I'm not here to discuss your politics or mine, for that matter.
Are they there to, in other words, if someone uses that word,
they are there to posture, and that's what I hate about it. It's an effective.
Now, how's posturing different than virtue signaling?
It's the same thing. It's
same
just
thing.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. But
I don't know what either is.
Well,
help me. I'm old.
yeah, right, Sam. Suddenly you've had a stroke.
Oh, by the way, you'll get a kick out of this.
Right.
So today, for the first time in a week, I ventured into the workout area where people, where I am,
right,
do their physical therapy. And there's two kinds of physical.
Which is why you're there, right?
Exactly. So there's two kinds of therapy. There's occupational therapy, and I don't know why it's called that, because it works on your lower body. And then there's regular therapy, which works on your upper body. So I don't know why they call it, occupation. Anyway, so I get there, and they were very happy to see me because I'd been away for about 5 days. Very happy to see me. And they said, now listen, don't do what you did last time you were here. And I said, well, I plan to work out very vigorously. That's not what we mean. Well, what do you mean? The first time you were here, you looked at the people here and you looked around and you said, I'm the youngest motherfucker in this entire room.
Oh, they don't want you to say that?
And I went, am I wrong? They go, no, you're not wrong. But you were looking at people and you don't remember this, but you had us laughing so hard, we had to take a TO. And I said, what was it I said? I forgot. You said, you don't remember saying that there's a woman here who bears a striking resemblance to George Burns? And I said, that's her. That's her right there. He goes, stop yelling. I said, and so I said, I promise I'll stop yelling, but I couldn't resist. I could not resist. So as I walk by this woman, I go, hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Listen, Gracie, make sure Ronnie's not late for class.
So because of you now, they have to post the Greenfield rule, which says no shtick.
No shtick. Not only no shtick, but and don't mention the Sunshine Boys.
The finger.
Hey, Andy, where are you? Are you on the road somewhere? What's going on?
I'm in beautiful Oakland University watching the Grizzlies. I had 5 young men who are students here at the Oakland University who I had to say 5 times, no vaping in the car. No vaping in the car.
Oh, my God.
Your college kids, no vaping in the car. And they mumbled something about woo. Just,
in your car?
In my car, yeah. My van. And they mumble. They're mumbling. They're college kids and they mumble. I said, we need communications? Is that the deal? I mean, what are you majoring in, you know?
Has anyone here ever vaped?
No.
I never have.
No, I've smoked a lot of things, but never a vape.
I've never done it too. I understand if you're under 18 and you could be accused of it, it's statutory vape.
Oh.
Hate me, you bastards. All of you hate me. All of you just hate me. That's fine.
Fine. We're getting a yellow card from the ref.
Telling you to stop now?
Statutory vape. Genius, I tell you. Genius.
I didn't know they were good. That's good. I didn't know. I thought they were 17. I didn't know they were. Well, you know, yeah. Yeah, it's like when you say I didn't know he could last that long. The last time I heard that, they were leaving the car.
All right, are we going to talk about the Yankee bats?
Go for it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What are they gonna put it throughout the rest of the league, or is that just the?
I think it's just right now. It's just a matter.
It's legal. It's completely legal. Anybody can do it.
I'm sure all the other teams have their orders in, and I'm sure the guy who makes them has now 10 times the price of those bats. You know,
guys, I'm behind on this. What are they corking the bats or
no,
something?
No. Let me explain. They have a new bat. Okay, It is tapered in a way that the sweet part of the bat, the one you hit a home run off of, is bigger than the other part of the bat. So instead of hitting a single, the ball goes out of the park.
Nice.
So in the first few games, the Yankees have hit, can correct me on this, Mark, 9 home runs in 2 days.
Yeah.
I think they hit 9 home runs in their first game. They hit 20 over the weekend.
Yeah.
It was 9 in the first game and then 20 for the
but a startling amount of home runs.
Yeah.
And there's a kid on the team who I'm a Yankee fan, who I've never heard of, and he said 5.
Volpe?
Yeah. 5.
Yeah. Volpe,
so
he was
but anyone can any team can buy it.
Yeah.
But the Yankees got hold of it first.
Any team can buy it, but you better believe that guy's price has just gone up. The guy that makes them.
If you were him, would your price go up, or would
Absolutely.
I might keep it the same and just say here it is, come and get it.
Now my question is, can he trademark trademark that particular bat shape.
If he can't meet the demand, then what we're talking about is moot.
Well, they showed tonight on CBS News. They showed how it's made. So
how's it made?
It's basically what they did was they took, the dimensions can only be so round. I mean, it can only be so thick. But previously, bat makers had made it thin at the bottom and then increasingly.
Mark.
We're still talking. Excuse me. We're still talking about bats, right?
Yes.
Hey guys, I need a couple minutes by myself. I need to mute the camera.
Yeah.
No, the bat would get thick, and it would be at its thickest at the end. What he would is he put the thickness just south of the trademark.
Yes.
Which had traditionally been the weakest part. You remember how we always put our trademark up because you didn't want to hit there?
Excuse me. We're still talking about the breadth of the lumber, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Just trying to, I'm just trying to put that out there.
But anyway, so now so it doesn't weigh anymore. It's that thickness in the middle, and then it tapers off at the end. So if you hit off the end of the bat, it's
I call bullshit. We're not talking about bats.
No.
What are we talking about?
Well, I mean, you could buy it at a store like a bat, I guess, but
it reminds me of some of the
you can buy it at
bats I've seen
CVS.
over at Dick's Sporting Goods.
You can buy it at CVS next to the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, it just looks like to me. It looks like a softball bat, and they've been using those kinds of bats in softball for years. But it's not illegal. It's not illegal in the majors. It fits all the dimensions that make it illegal.
But you know what's really cool is that Aaron Judge said, "I don't need this."
No, that is cool. He doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't. He said, "I've hit 110 home runs in the last 2.5 years. I'm okay."
Yeah,
because he's also 6'7".
Well, there you go.
Well, the news that got me, and I saw this in a New York paper. This wasn't in the Detroit paper, but we signed away your second baseman, Kleber Torres.
Yes.
Yeah, and apparently they didn't fight too hard to keep him there, and we found out why. In the second game of the season, he hit a home run and hurt himself running around the bases. Now, a home run jog has got to be the easiest run you can do, but he hurt. And then when I read about it in the New York papers, they were saying he re-aggravated his back problem. I'm going, how did we not know he had a back problem before we signed him? No wonder New York didn't fight for him.
Let me tell you something about Kleber Torres and guys like him, okay? Whenever I read a story that you pull a hamstring or something like that, you, and this is going to sound very simplistic, you are not stretching.
Yeah, you
are not getting your body in optimal. They're paying these guys a king's ransom. You are not getting your body in shape for the upcoming season. So you hurt your little hamstring. Goodbye. Well, there are people who sell their mother to the Yemenis to get on that team. So just goodbye.
The guy. Well, we put him at second because that's his position. And Colt Keith played there last year and had a great season, but we put him over at first because Spencer Torkelson had such a horrible season. But Spencer Torkelson is hitting the shit out of the ball, so we put him back at first, Colt Keith's back at second, and we're just going to wait for Kleber Torres to get better, and hopefully he'll be well enough at least to play DH or something. So something like that.
I'm just happy.
The Tigers just like to win their last 40 games to make the playoffs. That's pretty much the Tigers' MO now.
I just like the fact that the Pistons are doing so well after a horrendous last season.
Did you see the fight last night?
Huh?
Did you see the fight last night in the Piston game?
I did.
Oh my God!
I did.
I thought that it reminded me of when Rick Mahorn and Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman used to play for us. Remember those championship days? That's the old days.
The bad boys.
That's right.
The bad boys are back. In fact,
have you ever seen 30 on 30 with them?
With who?
Mark, did you ever see 30 on 30 with them?
Oh, with the Bad Boys team? Yeah, I saw it.
God, that was good. Jesus, that was well done.
But
for the rest of you, 30 on 30 is a documentary about different teams.
Yes, it is.
And they did this whole thing about Laimbeer and Mahorn. And you know what's amazing? I think Mahorn could make a living as a voiceover.
He does. He does color. He's a Piston
Yeah,
Well,
just
Rick Mahorn is a Pistons announcer. He does the Pistons color commentary.
He's
with,
great.
yeah, he is. He does a good job.
Both teams play great, my man.
yep.
Both teams play great,
Yeah.
my man. Over and
Yeah.
over.
And the Tigers just let Kurt Gibson go from the announcers booth. They won't let him announce games anymore.
What happened?
For half a second, I thought you were going to say they just let him go. I go, what is he, 70? Jesus. Who are you hanging on to?
Kurt
Well,
Gibson.
I think
Kurt Gibson is
he's
only a
got
couple years older than I am because
he's got Parkinson's or
he's got he's got Parkinson's.
Parkinson's,
disease.
and sadly he can't speak anymore. He can't.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he can, but I mean, it's not good, and I guess they probably had to make an executive decision. Mark, you remember back when they fired Ernie Harwell? Again, all you kids out there, teams had favorite announcers. Ours was Ernie Harwell, and we decided rather than let the man retire and have a victory lap, just to fire him summarily, because that's how you just tell the fans what they're like, and if you don't like it, too effing bad. That worked out so well.
You know what
Washington
he brought after that one season he was off and they fired the guy who fired him and brought him back.
Yeah.
He broadcast for 14 more years. So
yeah, there was nothing wrong with Ernie Harwell.
There was a guy who played who announced for Washington when Washington was horrible. I mean, awful. And
which era that they were horrible? Because
when they were the Washington Senators.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of horrible
when they moved before they moved to Minnesota.
Okay.
Oh.
The originals.
So the
right. So they had a guy named John. I can't remember his last name, but he was called. There was a player who ran into the umpire, so the umpire called him out. Now the guy didn't do anything wrong, but he called him out, and you can hear the announcer saying, "This is why baseball will never make it in this goddamn town." Because you have, and I'm laughing. I was like 16. I was laughing so hard because you have an umpire who needs a map. This is the greatest line I've ever heard. Who needs a map to find his ass from his elbow, and he's calling this guy out. The guy didn't do anything wrong. This is why we suck. This whole team sucks. The umpire sucks. And if he doesn't like it, I'll meet him outside and I will kick his ass.
Well, which
my God.
You know what? That umpire got topped by, was it Angel Hernandez or Fernandez? Who was
the worst umpire in the history of baseball?
He was the worst ever. And he's got a highlight reel, a low light reel that matches no one's. That low light reel is horrible.
It's beyond anything. This is true. Stevie Wonder could call a better game than him.
For you
know what?
guys.
And did you see in spring training this year they had the computerized balls and strikes?
He's the reason.
Yeah, they should call that. Now they're not allowing it in regular season. They may do it next year, but it was a test in spring training. Only the pitcher and catcher could ask for a computer judgment call, and for a ball. And only the batter could ask for a judgment if it's called a strike and he thought it was a ball.
Well,
I think they should call that the angel. I'd like to angel that pitch, just in memory of.
He is so despised that you can't mention his name.
Do you guys like video replay in baseball? Because I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of video replay in baseball. I mean, to me,
if someone is so clear, if there's a call that is so definitively wrong, then I'm in favor of it.
Yeah, I am too. And especially since don't they all go to New York for the most part?
It goes to New York. They have a group of guys, Jason, who are
watching the game.
Right, and if they make the call, they make the call. But you need people who have no vested interest in the game.
Right now, like in basketball, the three refs. Actually, it's the two. Have you noticed it in basketball? The two refs that didn't make the call go over to the monitor and view it.
Right.
And then they bring the third guy in to tell them what they saw, and then they'll look at it again, and then they make the determination. But they don't let the original call maker look at the video until the other two guys have seen it.
But they make it kind of fast.
They do make it. Well, they've gotten now. The first year they did it, they weren't that fast. They've gotten faster at it now. I think.
No, they're much better at it now.
Yeah. Well, and have you noticed this year especially? The coaches have been right more times than the refs had.
And also, I'm in favor of it, Jason.
Basketball must be a hard game to ref if the coaches are right more than the refs are.
And also, Jason, I'm in favor of it when it comes to the playoffs.
Well, my objection is this: that the sports is a spectacle, it's a drama, it's an entertainment, and we're changing it into something so technocratic. And I've seen this in football, and to me, instant replay has kind of ruined football. Even though I'm still mad
I think it makes it more exciting.
There's a reason.
I'm in the minority again. I know
there's a reason for that, Jason, and the reason is the rise of sports betting.
Yes,
You've got
I
to.
think
you got that right.
You
You
are
got that
right.
right.
We are in
all the money
lockstep
going towards
agreement,
sports
Mark.
betting, you have to have those calls be reversible.
You'll remember that 2 years ago when Detroit was
Is that the one from my room?
penalized.
Yeah. That would.
When
You know what?
Detroit-
And there's still calls of having Gallega's perfect game called.
Yes.
There's still calls for that.
But you guys all lived with the heartbreak of a bad call. You do remember this, don't you? That I mean, I don't know any particular game or what. For
I'm
Detroit,
sure Jason remembers.
I remember everything. Yeah.
And then car insurance.
Yeah, no, that's part of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, Mark is being given graft on stage right now. Payola.
You're seeing
Mark
You're seeing payola as we broadcast.
That's right.
I'm being paid off.
Coming in now, Mark's going to play the new hit song.
It's pre-meeting.
It's what?
It's pre-meeting.
It'll be. Yeah, I'll play.
Okay.
So, Sam, how many times did people come to you in your radio days offering you wine, hookers, cocaine, and money to promote a new rock
And
act?
that was just one guy.
Down at the bar.
Hold on, I gotta mute myself here. I got a discussion.
Okay, we're going.
Yeah.
Listen, while Mark's muted, we should say the most horrible things about him. I mean, we should. Oh, hold on, he can hear us. Oh my God, no, run.
Done and done.
You should see the effects you're getting right now, Mark.
The only time I got a bribe when I was on the radio. The only time I got a bribe when I was on the radio was, and this is pathetic. This guy said to me, "Sam, we're big fans of yours." I go, "Uh-huh." And he goes, "We'd like to invite you to play a game of golf at Desert Inn, which is a primo golf course."
Right.
And I go, "Well, that's very nice of you. Well, when can you tee up?" I go, "I've never played golf in my life." And they looked at me like I said, Hitler had a point. I mean, they were so upset. They go, "You've never played golf?" I go, "No." "Well, why not?" I go, "Well, why?" And they go, "Well, because you get to play for free." I go, "So you're telling me that there's a recreational sport that I've never played, that I have no desire to play, and I should play it because..." And they're like, "Well, because it's free." I go, "Well, so's ice skating. All you need is a pair of skates and lace up." And they go, "It's not." And the guy goes like this. And this was so immature. He goes, "Well, it's not the same."
Yeah.
Like that. I go,
But you played basketball, Sam, so that was cool.
I have played basketball and softball and football.
You and I played with.
This is why I don't like it. This is why I don't like golf. It's 4 hours.
It's 5 now.
Yeah, it's 5 now. 6 if Greenfield's playing, and eventually, and this has been my experience, eventually it would devolve into alcohol and racist jokes.
Yes, God. Oh, how I miss those things.
Good times.
I tell you what, a bunch of us back in the day, we'd go to this hick 9-hole golf course at the farm. It was so hick that the golf carts had gun racks.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, it was. You could bring your own 12-pack, put it in back. We'd all split a hit of 4-way acid, and we take acid, and by about the second hole, it's hitting, and yeah, just drink and say the most horrendous things to each other.
Willie Nelson had a 9-hole golf course.
Yeah.
And they asked him, "Well, what's your golf course like?" He goes, "Well, It's a par 48, and today I birdied that motherfucker.
God, yeah, that was
If
that.
if he is not a testament to pot is not bad for you, I don't know what is. Oh my, he's 91.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's like heroin kills everybody except Keith Richards. You know, he's
Who's going to outlive nuclear winter?
oh well, yeah. You know the old joke. Every cigarette you smoke takes 3 minutes off your life and gives it to Keith Richards. So I mean,
Do you think he still smokes?
he smokes. He doesn't do
No.
drugs anymore. He still, I think
But
he
he
still
What
still
smokes.
do you
smokes
call
cigarettes.
what do you call smoking? He smokes
Yeah,
cigarettes? I can't believe
well, I don't know. Hey, his
it.
wife is
Who's
a
it?
supermodel,
I heard
but
this quote the other day. I heard this quote the other day. Somebody said, I can't remember whether it was in politics or comedy, but he said, you see smokers in old folks' home. You never see fat people. So it's the fat that's killing people, not the
no,
smoke.
as a former cab driver, or as a present cab driver, Andy and I both know this from doing what was known as the senior ride. Trust me, there's plenty of tubby old people who were sitting
Are
there.
there fat
What
old
do we
people?
got to do to get
Speaking as someone who lives in a therapeutic outfit,
Yes.
okay, and I got to say this, the majority of the people there are not fat. They are
Well,
not fat. And the reason they're not fat is because they can barely move.
well, that and also with fat people, it's easier to smother them with a pillow because they're already kind of weighted. Maybe I've said too much. Hold
Oh,
on. Did I say that,
oh,
Mark? Can we cut that
oh.
out?
Can
Yeah,
you
we.
can you publish your email so that I don't get all the emails for that one, please? Thank you very much.
Hey, look, I'm just trying to do. We're just trying to do what's best for the family. It
There,
might be the
there
man's.
was a guy who was my roommate, my bedmate, my roommate,
Ooh,
named Yehuda.
yes.
He was an Auschwitz survivor.
Yep.
For 2 years, he lived in a jail in Singapore,
Yes.
and he
Wow.
survived that.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
every day, his wife, who kind of looks like, how do I put this? Hervé Villachez, okay, would come and, and this is the kind of person she was. I'm trying to be nice. And I go, hi, I'm Sam. She goes, my name is Mrs. Cohen, and that's how you will address me. I went, oh, okay. So you're the C word I've heard about. Okay. And she complained every day about the food at
Oh
this
dear.
place. And
Well,
I
she's
said,
not eating. She's not eating there, is she?
she
What does
brought
she know
him
about?
food.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But here's the thing. She's complaining about the food and how terrible the nurses are. And I said to the nurses, how do you stand this? They are so over them. The nurses are so, she goes, there's nothing we haven't heard. She says she's actually polite next to these people. So
wow.
I said to this woman, whose name was Becky, isn't that perfect? She said, I said, this is institutional food. They're not cooking just for your husband. You understand that? They're cooking for over 100 people. So it's not going to be, let's make this especially for him. And every night before he goes to bed, she says this, I love you, I love you, I love you so much. I said, how long have you been married? She said, 51 years. Don't you think he gets it by now?
Well, and can't we book him a voyage on the Achille Lauro? I mean, maybe he and Leon can go
Or
for a swim
yeah, maybe
together.
a little PLO action.
Push. We had, and we transported amongst the old. We also transported people who were profoundly disabled, wheelchairs and whatnot. And I can use this woman's name because she's been sold for medical experiments. But we used to say, you pick up June, and the dispatcher would come across with, and by the way, some assembly required, because she would be in like this Captain Pike wheelchair that we'd have to put together.
Oh my God. Oh
And
my
she
God.
would go like to 8 different places all day long. So you were constantly putting her together and taking her apart, and putting her head in midsection in a bag up front, and making sure the catheter didn't or did get connected or something. And just after a while, it's like, can't we finish this? I mean,
Well,
I
this woman was about 4 feet tall, so she bore a startling resemblance to Geppetto, and but she brought him
The facial hair,
lobster.
with the facial hair too.
What was that line?
Yeah.
What was that line from Major Leagues when they're talking about the guy who's the big slugger for the Yankees? And they go, somebody ought to look at this guy. Every time he blows his nose, it looks like party favors. Oh my God!
Oh my God.
He said,
Go
was-
on.
They had a picture. He said, "Are you kidding?" He threw at his mother, and it was a father-son game.
Oh dear. So, I mean, so again, we have some idea of what it is to work with some of these folks, and you're right about the staff. After a while, it just goes in one ear, out the other, whatever. If that's what floats your boat, fine. Don't worry. Someday the kids are gonna.
Isn't that any job though? Isn't that any job?
I know, but when you spend so much time wishing you could strangle someone with an extension cord before you drop them off at the next stop, but then
I
you have
say,
to.
why limit yourself?
Exactly, Sam, because I'm like, there's so many other, we could drag them behind the cab while they hold on in the wheelchair, hoping that I slow down to get under 30 because their
Honey,
wheels are starting to smoke.
how's your hot tub? Here, try this toaster.
I didn't know you and I worked in the same profession, Sam. I love it. That's there you
Hey,
go.
is the place for the.
Hey, but if it's Connie's
What was
demons
that?
dropping it on you,
What was that
Susan
woman's
wants
name?
us to
Was
talk about
Ann?
neighbor.
I'm sorry.
Jason was the one. Was
said
Ann?
Susan.
She was terrible.
Yeah, and yeah, I forget her last name, but yeah, Anne, and she was. Well, now was this the one? She didn't have a walker; she had scaffolding. I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and she was a paranoid schizophrenic. No, she insisted that we would go through the Wendy's drive-through backwards so that she could
Exactly.
roll
I
her
don't think they can.
window down in order. I remember who you're talking about. Yeah, and she would be sitting in back and having. But my favorite ones, we used to have these. We had this one small, and I'll say this: she was she was a black woman, and she would start preaching in the back seat, and she would
Oh
start
yeah.
going on, and she would start. By the time I'd get her where she was going, I was a disciple. I was following her. It's like, no, you should. She is a prophet. Listen to her. Because
Yeah.
she's in the back, she's right. She brings her own rattlesnakes with her. And I'm like, yes, sister.
Yeah.
I've got a tambourine out. I'm taking
Yeah.
collections. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an interesting. It
I
was a
hated
mixed
when they
bag.
forced you to drink calamine lotion.
You
Well,
talk about snake handlers. It reminds me of one of my favorite Simpsons line, where Mo Cecilak, the bartender, he goes, "I'm sorry, I was born a snake handler. I'm gonna die a snake handler."
being a hillbilly, I can tell you the trick to that is they milk the snakes before they handle them. They do.
Really?
Yes, they milk the snake so it has no venom. So even if you do get bit, it hurts, but yeah, whatever. Don't worry. If the spirit is with you, the serpent can't hurt you.
But isn't it true that if you melt a snake, you'll go blind?
No, but your hands get. What can I say, guys? I'm from a long line of inbred people who have questionable ethics when it comes to, well, many things. And Andy could probably tell.
Yeah, but questionable ethics are so underrated.
Tell me about it. It's my goal someday to be dropped down the bottom of an endless coal pit, and I bounce off Dick Cheney's soul and become Mitch McConnell's footstool.
Do you remember what Dick Cheney looked like at Obama's inauguration?
Was he wearing the Darth Vader outfit, or was that after?
He looked like one of the characters in Spy vs. Spy.
Yes, that'd be Dick Cheney. Yeah. And it's still alive. There are people who need health care, and yet Dick Cheney is still hooked into a machine being fed by the souls of children and small hamsters running on a wheel.
But those kids were bad.
they deserved it. Mommy said I wouldn't go with her new boyfriend, so I don't get to watch TV this weekend or eat. Yeah, yeah.
And I wanted to watch White Lotus.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll be reporting to Satan fairly soon. Sam, I'd meet you in hell because at least I know there'd be air conditioning and cake.
Well, not only that, but a doctoral thesis is something not to be overlooked.
Well, I got to give my parents a lot of credit. When they split up, they they didn't want us to. They never let us know that they wanted the other one to take us. At least not
You know
until we were.
something I find amazing?
At least
I
not
saw
until
an
we were
interview with
adults.
Alan Alda, and this is years ago. And he's being interviewed by a person who I now think whose soul is rotting as we speak, which is Barbara Walters.
Yes.
She defended Roy Cohn. So for that, she'll burn in hell. So anyway, so they're talking to Alan Alda. And
You mean
he's
no
been
penalty
married
for creating The View?
So they're interviewing Alan Alda, and he's been married for, and I'm not exaggerating, about 60 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they said to him, what do you do with friends who get a divorce? And he goes, we stop talking to them.
Yeah.
And Walters was stunned. You stop. That's right. Okay, marriage isn't easy. You have to stick it out. Yeah. And Barbara Walters said, and it was a great question. She goes, suppose the husband is horribly abusive. You work, and this is what Alda said, like he was right. He goes, well, you work it out. He's beating you with a tire iron. You work it out? That's right, you work it out. That stunned me. And any respect I had for him as a writer or an actor went up exponentially because I hate women. No, because because you can't do that. He's beating someone, but he was so self-righteous about it.
But Sam, take a good example that sort of illustrates your point. Joe Kennedy and his lovely wife Rose, and at the end, Joe, after all his decades of misdeeds, is in a wheelchair with Rose Kennedy going, it's just you and me, Joe. It's just you and me. And he's got that look in his eyes like, you wouldn't be doing this to me if I wasn't in this wheelchair.
But you are, Joe.
But you are, Joe. You are. And
what's that great line? Am I hungry? Does Rose Kennedy have a black dress? This is a man who gave his daughter, a lobotomy.
For her
a lobotomy.
Birth. Yes, exactly.
His child.
Exactly.
His child. Yeah. Oh my God. Is there no end to your depravity, sir?
Well, and then one of the kids takes one of the secretaries for a swim, leaves her behind.
He would be. How proud do you think that Papa Joe would be of his grandson?
RFK Jr.?
Well, I think there was a rumor that Joe Kennedy and Gloria Swanson were a thing for a while.
They were.
Oh, they absolutely were.
They absolutely were.
Oh, sure.
So, for any of you under 1,000, Joe Kennedy is an old man who fathered a president 1,000,000 years ago, and Gloria Swanson was what, his wet nurse. I mean, and a movie star. Although,
you know what amazes me about her? Do you know what her real name was?
Gloria
Lucille LeSueur. Why is that better? Why is that better?
That's Joan Crawford.
Oh, that's right.
Why is Gloria Swanson better than Lucille
LeSueur? Isn't that a better name in that era?
Because Lucille LeSueur was the one she was using to hustle truck drivers with at the Bakersfield Inn. When she had that trick where she'd pick up a silver dollar.
Well, that's like Vin Diesel. His real name was Mark Vincent. What's wrong with Mark Vincent? That's not macho enough?
Because Vin Diesel sounds more like the guy who's going to be in several of the movies that I own that you guys have never seen.
Well, if Diesel ends in Dyke, yeah.
Well, it ends in a lot of places, actually.
Look, damn it. It's 59 minutes.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Good seeing you guys this week, as it always is. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We're here every Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And you know your time zone, so I'm not going to list all the other times. I forgot to mention, we do have, let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. We do have an address now. I used to have to put on the stream all the time of where we are on YouTube, but that's the permanent one. Every week that'll be there. In fact, there's a whole, here's my bride, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
There's a whole page, not only this week's, but last week's, the week where it goes back about 12
Remember
weeks.
to smash that like button.
Yeah.
Susan, nice poem tonight.
I can't see the
I did a poem. You didn't hear it?
I
Yeah,
said
she
nice
said
poem
Oh, I
tonight.
thought you said no poem.
No, he
That's
said
because
nice.
you're not paying attention. What?
No, it's the audio is crap. The fidelity.
Oh, here.
I can't hear
And
you
also
well.
go to this right here, this
All right, I'm
YouTube
leaving because I need to pee.
and click subscribe and like.
Good
All
seeing
right,
you
you
again,
gotta do that.
Sam. Guess you're healthy.
We'll see.
Subscribe,
We'll
people.
see everybody.
Subscribe.
We'll see. We'll
Good
see
night, kids. Stay
everybody-
well.
We'll see
You
everybody
too.
again. Okay, never mind.
Next week. Bye bye.
Bye. Yeah, hang on.